Here at Heathrow Terminal 3, there's 12 lounges inside, 10 I have access to, and 1 day to visit them all. Let's go.
These are the 12 lounges in the terminal building. I can't visit the Emirates or Virgin lounges because I'm flying BA today, but I have access to the rest. I'll show what each of them has to offer, my thoughts, and I'll explain how to get into them throughout the video. Let's check them out. I'm starting off the tour with the British Airways lounges since that's who I'm flying with today. BA has 2 lounges in T3, and the first of the 2 we'll look at is the BA Galleries Club or Business Class lounge. Follow the signs for Lounge F and go straight down the long corridor. Automatic double doors will open up to reveal the BA lounge entrances. To the right is the club lounge entrance where I had my boarding pass scanned and made my way into the lounge. It's a decently sized lounge with a few different seating areas. At the front, there are a few dining tables by the buffet. Past that is another section with more sofas, chairs and tables. The classic BA self-serve lounge bar is here with a selection of spirits, wine, snacks and soft drinks. No champagne here, but you can self-pour some Prosecco from the ice buckets. If you're hungry, there's a buffet by the entrance with a selection of hot and cold food, and some sandwiches too. If you're low on power, there are charging sockets around the edge of the lounge, and check out the windows for views of the tarmac. And keeping in theme with the T5 lounges, the finest hospital-themed toilets are present here too. While I drink my first glass of bubbles of the day, let's discuss how you get access to this lounge. Access to the BA Club Lounge is available to anyone flying on the oneworld airline in business class or with oneworld Sapphire status. You don't need to be flying BA specifically. Although, keep watching to see better lounges you can access with these same requirements. Back at the BA entrance, I'm now making my way to the left to check out the second lounge of the day, the BA Galleries First Lounge. Upon entering, it's immediately noticeable how much quieter and calmer this lounge is. Straight ahead is a self-pour champagne bar with a cool looking chandelier feature. To the left is a room with seating and another self-pour bar with water, wines, as well as champagne here, and of course another chandelier. The back wall has the same classic BA self-serve bar as in the business lounge with spirits, soft drinks and snacks. Sofas are dotted around and more seating is available as you turn right at the entrance. There are plenty of different areas with different kinds of seating available to suit you. There's another slightly bigger buffet here with a few more choices. You can bring your food into the dining room or just simply order from the QR code menu for table service, which is available throughout the lounge. Although the dining room furniture is similar to Concorde dining in Terminal 5, this lounge doesn't provide the same a la carte dining experience, but at least you get some nice views. The big question, are the first class lounge toilets any nicer? You tell me. At least the soap is Elemis. The club and first lounges both share shower facilities which, you guessed it, look the same. I promise it's all uphill from here toilet-wise. Let's head back to the lounge to grab my second glass of champagne and get comfortable. The lounge space is the same size if not bigger than the club lounge, but with a lot less people. Access to the BA First Lounge is available to anyone flying in BA or any oneworld airline First Class and those with BA Gold or oneworld Emerald status flying in any class. And again, if you have access here, stick around to see other lounges you can access, including my favourite in Terminal 3. Leaving the BA lounges now, but still in the F section, let's head upstairs to our first non-airline lounge of the day, the No1 Lounge. The main seating area is in this L shape with individual chairs, bigger sofas, tables and desks throughout. It's definitely busy in here, but there was still space to find a seat. There was a roped off reserve section, which I assume is for specific airlines premium customers, and a small cinema room, sans movie. There's a small selection of basic heated buffet food and a bar with various drinks. The champagne isn't free, but Prosecco is included. It looks like there was a spa offering treatments here before, but this was closed on my visit, along with the showers and pod bedrooms. Toilets were thankfully open and were clean, and I like the dark style. Let's look at the access requirements while I drink glass number 3 of bubbles. I got in using my Priority Pass card, but this lounge is open to any members of Priority Pass, Lounge Key and Dragon Pass. Despite the busyness, I quite like the design and the natural light in this lounge, but let's not waste time. Off to the next. I'm heading over to the Lounge H part of the terminal now for the 2 American Airlines lounges. Through the sliding doors and straight ahead down the corridor is the American Airlines Admirals Club, which is their business class lounge. It opens up into this circular area with some tables and the rest of the lounge seating surrounding it in an open plan layout. The design is a bit boring despite the recent refresh, but there's plenty of space and it is functional with power sockets and a small side table at almost every seat. You've also got views of the ramp with windows wrapping around the lounge. Food-wise, it's another standard buffet selection with hot food, a salad bar, ice cream, and it wouldn't be an American lounge without some sweets. The toilets were clean and I thought the style was fine. Nothing special, but the bar was quite low with the previous entries. The shower rooms are shared across both the American lounges and actually have a fair amount of space. They were definitely the biggest of any I visited today. I went to settle down for a bit, but opted for a glass of water this time. But if you're after bubbles, the offering here is Prosecco. Access here is for AA or any oneworld business class passengers, with oneworld Sapphire members allowed entry too. Back towards the entrance, the American Airlines International First Lounge is located immediately to the right as you head in. You're greeted as soon as you enter here and offered a glass of champagne or rosé. More suites ahead before entering the main lounge area. It's a smaller, more private lounge here and fairly quiet. There's more seating at the back with windows overlooking the ramp. The highlight of this lounge for me is definitely the dining area near the front that offers a la carte dining. I started with smashed avocado, and in true American style, I followed it up with bacon and maple syrup pancakes. There's also a buffet available with cold and hot options, and some self-serve coffee, spirits, and soft drinks behind. The lounge has separate toilets in the same style, and that's pretty much it. So, how'd you get in? AA First Class, oneworld First Class, or oneworld Emerald status? I got in with my BA Gold status, which is oneworld Emerald, but as I've already said, stick around to see better lounges you can get access to at this level. We're halfway through the list now. I had a couple glasses of champagne in here to make up for that water, before heading off to the next on the list. The Qantas International Lounge, marked Lounge B. This is a fairly impressive mixed-use lounge for both business and first-class passengers, spread over 2 floors. The ground floor has an a la carte dining area, which I'll check out later, surrounding a gin bar in the middle with a huge selection. Not being a fan of gin, I made my way up the stairs, which opens up to an eye-catching marble bar centerpiece. No champagne served here, but they do have an Australian sparkling wine. There's seating around the bar, on either side of the stairs, and a separate section behind the stairs too. This area has buffet options available all day, but I'll save myself the food downstairs. Toilet check time, and this lounge is keeping up to its standards. I love the sleek and bright feel here, and the theme continues into the shower rooms. The dining room is only open from 5 PM onwards, at which point the lounge slowly starts getting busier for the evening Qantas flights. I went for the famous salt and pepper squid, which was great, and I made sure the bubbles kept flowing. Entry into this lounge is for Qantas business and first class passengers. You can also get access flying on another oneworld airline in business or higher, and those with oneworld Sapphire or higher status. If you're flying in business or have Sapphire status, I think this is one of the best lounges you can visit, especially once the dining room is open in the evening. Back to the non-airline lounges for a bit. It's time to visit one of the latest additions to the American Express Centurion Lounges collection. This lounge is a bit out of the way compared to the other lounges, but you'll find it by following the signs for Lounge A. Up an elevator and through some nondescript corridors, you'll find the entrance to the Heathrow Centurion Lounge. One thing I noticed immediately was the lack of natural light in here. There are absolutely no windows in this lounge. You can tell they've invested a lot into the design elements to make up for this, and the space is well lit with a main bar and eating area, more comfortable seating around the back, and an office-style working area with private phone booths. The buffet had a decent selection of hot and cold foods, and you can order cocktails and other drinks at the staff bar. More sparkling wine instead of champagne in here, but that didn't stop me from having a glass. I wasn't able to get a look at the showers since there was such a long queue, but from the pictures I've seen online, they look pretty nice and modern, so thumbs up from me. You can get into this lounge by presenting your American Express Platinum card, or if you're lucky enough, the American Express Centurion card, more famously called the Black Card. Now, for a complete change of atmosphere, I went to Club Aspire, marked Lounge D. This lounge was pretty small, extremely crowded, and noisy. This is pretty much all the seating right here. There's a hot and cold buffet, which is weirdly elevated at an awkward height. Drinks were available at the bar, but sparkling wine and cocktails had to be paid for. They did have showers, but these hadn't been cleaned from the previous person and used towels were lying around, and that's pretty much it. This was the worst lounge by far in my opinion, and since I couldn't find a seat, I left after a few minutes. Access is via Priority Pass, Lounge Key or Dragon Pass, but just head to the No1 Lounge from earlier if that's what you're using. Okay, I'm on the home straight now, the final 2 lounges. Head to Lounge C for the Cathay Pacific lounges, which can be found up a set of elevators. These open up to a reception area where you'll be directed to either the business or first class lounge. First up, the business class lounge, which opens up into this large dining room area. There's a noodle bar at the front where you can place your order and add your toppings. Continuing on into the lounge, there's a buffet area with hot and cold food, soft drinks, and more snacks. Then, there's the main seating area, with comfortable sofas filling the space. I love the design of the Cathay lounges and they definitely feel the most calming out of all of them. There's more individual private seating near the windows and a business centre tucked around the back. Thankfully, I'm not here to work, so I took a seat at the staff bar and got myself a glass of champagne. The only business class lounge we visited today that serves champagne. But all of this champagne warranted a trip to the toilets, which are shared between the business and first class lounges. Personally, I think these are the best looking toilets and showers in Terminal 3. They look incredibly classy and have a really high quality finish. So, to get in here, believe it or not, the same entry requirements as the BA or AA business lounges. Obviously, Cathay Pacific business class passengers are welcome, but also any One World business class passengers and those with One World Sapphire status. We finally made it, the last lounge of the day, the Cathay Pacific First Class Lounge. This is personally my favourite lounge out of all the lounges we visited today. If I'm flying from T3, this is where I'm going. It's in the same Cathay Pacific style, but a lot smaller and quieter. It's got a much more exclusive feel, and I think they really nailed the design. There are comfortable sofas in the middle, and more individual seating with footstools by the windows. The large floor-to-ceiling windows flood the lounge with natural light and provide views of the tarmac and part of the runway. Light bites are available on the counter and in the fridge, with self-pour champagne and spirits on the bar. But before I get comfortable out here, I made my way to the dedicated a la carte dining room. This space is open all day, with breakfast in the morning and the standard menu for the rest of the day. I was taken to my table and handed the menu. I ordered the dim sum and dan dan noodles. The food was delicious as always, and yes, that is another glass of champagne to the left. After a long day of hopping between lounges, my 10 lounge extravaganza was over. I could finally relax and enjoy my favourite lounge before catching my flight. Access to the Cathay Pacific First Class lounge is for passengers flying on a One World airline in first class or those flying One World with Emerald status, which includes BA Gold Card holders. So, what's the best lounge in Terminal 3 and what are my recommendations? Well, it all depends on what cards or status you have. For those flying in economy without One World status, I'd recommend the No1 Lounge or the Centurion Lounge if you have a Platinum card. For those flying in business class or with One World Sapphire status, I'd recommend either the Qantas or the Cathay Pacific Business Lounge. Go for whatever you think looks best in this video. And finally, for those flying in first class or with One World Emerald status, I think the Cathay Pacific First Class Lounge is a clear winner and my personal favourite. Let me know which lounge was your favourite in the comments, and if anyone knows if it's possible to do more than 10 lounges in one go at any airport in the world, definitely leave a comment and let me know. I have a feeling Bangkok Suvarnabhumi might be up there. Anyway, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.